Oh, hello.
Hello there. Welcome to yet another panel discussion. I feel foolish for not properly introducing us in the very first episode. This is my colleague, Nicholas Richard, part-time junk man, full-time couch potato.
Oh, wow.
And I am Dale Hervis, part-time stage actor, freelance writer, and film historian.
And dishwasher.
And dishwasher. Our subject for today is the Transformers series, specifically the Michael Bay movie trilogy that spans 2007 to 2011. The third movie in the series, Transformers Dark of the Moon, came out in June of this year and, from what I understand, grossed a lot of money. So you can bet there will be a fourth one. But did you know that the Transformers series actually goes all the way back to the mid-1980s, when the original Transformers animated series debuted on TV in 1984. And that, of course, led to, it ran for 3 years, there were several rebooted cartoon shows, and there was even a 1986 Transformers movie featuring the voice of Orson Welles as the robot planet Unicron. Okay, so, you're the one, let's admit this, you're the one who chose this subject. Now, what is it about, now how many of the movies have you seen?
I've only seen the first two. The third one, I sadly not seen.
Well, you probably will see it at some point. Now, the first two movies, the first one was just called Transformers, and the second one was called Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Now, let's be honest, the main reason that you like these movies is because of Megan Fox.
Well, yeah, she's a very attractive woman, but I mean, no, that's not all why I watch the movies.
Well, alright, aside from Megan Fox, what else is it about the Transformers movies that attracts you?
Because it just kicked ass.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Non-stop action. Who doesn't love a car that can turn into a robot?
maybe it's the little boy. Now, I do have one confession. I've not seen any of these movies, and I never watched an episode of the original show. I didn't even see the original animated movie, but I do agree with you. You know what's kick-ass? Robots that can turn into cars and guns and trailer trucks and beat the fuck out of each other. Now, I don't care if you're 5, 10, 15, 20, or 120. That's kick-ass, and that's cool. Now, I have seen, of course, clips and segments from the three movies. There is one thing, now I'm going to get to them at some point, but there's one major thing that's keeping me back from watching these movies, and that's the human characters. Now, Shia LaBeouf is or LaBeouf, however it's pronounced. LaBeouf is our lead character. He plays Sam Witwicky. I think that's Whitaker, however it's pronounced. He plays Sam, the lead character in all three movies. I'm sorry, but I just don't like Shia LaBeouf. Now, that goes all the way back to when he started on the Disney Channel with Even Stevens and all that stuff. Now, from what I have seen him in,
And why don't you like him?
I don't know what it is, but there's just something about him that just screams asshole. He's so like that. Now, for the movies that he has been in that I've seen, he was in a Disney Channel TV movie that I really liked. I don't know if you've seen it. It was called True Confessions, which was one of his first dramatic roles. He played he co-starred in the movie. He played a male twin. His twin was a girl, so they were fraternal twins. But his character suffered from a mental disability. And I thought that LaBeouf was very, very good. Now, up till that time, he was well known for playing the goofy guy on Even Stevens. And I thought he did a very good job playing, the character's name was Eddie. I thought he did a great job. I did see him, I don't know if you've seen it, Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, I'm not one of those fanboys who hated Indiana Jones 4. I don't know about you. I thought it was actually pretty good. It was an old-fashioned kind of jungle adventure movie, and I really enjoyed it. There's one thing I did not like about it. Guess who it was?
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. If you're gonna, why not give Indiana Jones a daughter? I quite frankly am getting sick and fucking tired of father-son stories. Why can't we throw girls a bone here? I mean, Princess Leia was Darth Vader's daughter.
Because America's sexist, I tell you.
They are, actually. We're going off on a bit of a tangent here. Bottom line is that's the main reason why I'm kind of staying away from these movies, because I don't like Shia LaBeouf. However, I will agree with you that the main hook for me is that I can see why these movies are popular, because you got Megan Fox's breasts and ass, and you have big monster trailer trucks beating the fuck out of each other. So, of the two that you've seen, which one is your favorite?
Number 2.
Number 2?
Number 3, I've also, the rumor heard, and number 3, that Megan Fox is not in the movie.
No, she's not. Now, that leads to an interesting thing. Megan Fox was originally going to be in the third movie, but she was. It just depends on who you talk to. According to her agent, she personally agreed not to do the third movie because she did not have a great experience making the second movie. She reportedly described Michael Bay as being like Hitler. Michael Bay said that it was his decision not to bring her back. There's even a rumor floating around that when she made those supposed Hitler comments about Michael Bay, Steven Spielberg, who just happens to be Jewish, did not take that well, so he had her fired. I don't know if you know this, but Spielberg produced the Transformers movies.
Mm-hmm.
The girl who's in the third movie is a British chick, Rosie Huntington Whiteley. And from what I understand, her very first scene in the movie, she's wearing nothing but panties and a shirt. And we get like a 5-minute shot of just her ass as she's walking up the stairs. And that seems to be a trademark of Michael Bay. He seems to be a real TNA kind of guy. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but Transformers Dark of the Moon is in 3D. So you got Rosie Huntington Whiteley's ass coming at you in 3 dimensions. It's a shame that Megan Fox wasn't in it, because then we'd have her tatas coming at us in 3 dimensions.
I'm a fan of Megan Fox.
Yes, let's get on to her for a moment. With Megan Fox, I've only seen one of her movies. And I probably have never even heard of this one. It was called Passion Play. She played, get this, an angel. Okay, if you're going to cast someone to play the symbol of peace and love,
I wouldn't pick Megan Fox.
Peace and love and virginity, are you going to go with Megan Fox, who's topless in the movie, by the way?
Absolutely.
No, especially if she's in a love triangle with one guy who's like 3 decades older than her, and the other is 4 decades older than her. What is with these hot young women getting shackled with these old farts? That's what I want to know. With Megan Fox, one criticism I hear quite frequently of the Transformers movies is that her character really doesn't have a personality. She exists simply because she's hot. Her very first scene in the first movie, she helps Shia LaBeouf with his car, and she's wearing this very tight cut-off shirt, and you can see him leering at her, and it's just so sexist. It's just so gratuitous. I mean, this is weird coming from a guy, I understand, but I don't like sex jokes in movies. I just don't find them funny. I don't find it funny to see a guy leering at a girl's boob for 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't know why that's supposed to be funny. Why haven't you seen the third one yet? It's been out. It's coming on DVD this month, I think.
Yes, that's good.
September 30th, I think.
30th,
It came out in theaters. Just what was the point of showing it in theaters? You're just going to release it on DVD. When I was a kid, we had video. We had to wait a year for that to come out on video. I remember when I went to see Toy Story, the first Toy Story, way back in 1995. When I was leaving the theater, I went with a cousin. I asked her, when is it coming out on video? She said probably next spring. We saw it in the winter, so that shows you how much time has changed.
Yeah, like 3 months later, it's on
Did the same thing with Alice in Wonderland. That grossed $1 billion, and then it went right to DVD just 3 months later. It's like, what's the point? What is the point?
So they can make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
They can make double their money. They're going to make the people that go to the theaters pay, and they're going to make the people that want to buy it.
That's corporate fucks for you. We went off on a bit of a tangent, but so why haven't you seen the third one yet? You didn't feel the urge to run out and see it in theaters?
No.
That's probably the thing.
That's not one of the things that come to my head. Oh, I gotta watch Transformers 3.
You probably just caught the first 2 on TV, I'm assuming.
No, I watched the first 2 with my buddy.
Oh.
He has my DVD. I'm sure I'll watch it sometime.
I'm sure you will. Probably once it comes out.
I'm kind of excited. I want to see it.
Maybe we'll do a sequel to this. We'll
I've
actually
seen I've seen 5 minutes of that movie.
5 minutes of Transformers 3. One thing that intrigues me about Transformers 3 is that they play with that whole idea of we didn't go to the moon just to beat the Russians. We went there because there was part of a Decepticon there, and I've seen some of the action scenes from Transformers 3, and I gotta tell you, they ripped up this planet to shreds. I mean, there's this really funny action scene in the movie where these giant worm things are slithering their way through these giant robot worms are slithering their way up a skyscraper in Chicago, and it's just like, oh my God, Michael Bay, at some point he's going to run out of things to destroy, he's going to run out of things to blow up, and And you have to ask yourself with the Transformers, why don't they, if they're going to do a fourth one, we'll get to that in a moment, but if they're going to do a fourth one, I suggest they take it off the Earth. They've ripped up every country on this planet. They destroyed the pyramids in the last movie, so. Let's talk about the origins of Transformers. They go clean back to the mid-'80s. The original animated movie from 1986 featured Orson Welles in his last screen performance. He did the voice of a giant planet, robot planet that rips up other planets. Technically, it wasn't his last movie. A couple have come out since that he did before he died, but that's one of the last that he worked on. So it's like a 300-pound dying old man does the voice of a giant killer planet. I don't know if you know this, but there's something kind of funny. The corporate fuck struck with the first Transformers movie. What they did with the animated Transformers movie is they decided they needed to introduce a whole new line of toys. So they decided to kill off all of the characters from the first 2 seasons. This was made in between 2 seasons of the original show. They decided to kill off all the main characters, including Optimus Prime, and then release the new toys to toy stores around the same time the movie came out. Well, when they killed off Optimus Prime, there was a huge outcry from the public saying, "You do not kill Optimus Prime." They didn't get, the corporate guys were like, they don't give a fuck about these new toys, these new characters. So they brought him back in the 3rd season. So never underestimate the power of the fanboys. If they complain loudly enough, the corporate fucks will hear them. I really can't put my finger on why I haven't seen any of the Transformers movies. I guess it's just, I will admit the idea of giant killer robots is pretty cool, but there's just so many
Watch
things.
them if you get a chance.
If I get a chance, I will, but there's so many things holding me back. I don't like Shia LaBeouf. I don't think Michael Bay is a very good director. It has all these sex jokes. These movies are so fucking long. How long was the second one? The second one was 2.5 hours long. Robots tearing shit up and blowing the fuck out of each other. I'm sorry, that's gonna get boring after a while. Can you really sustain something like that for 2.5 hours?
It was actually an awesome movie.
Well, actually, now that we're on the subject of Transformers 2, everybody hated that movie. I mean, it made a shitload of money at the box office, but people really hated it. Roger Ebert hated it. He was like, this movie is like a 2.5 hour assault on your senses, and Leonard Maltin hated it, and the guys at Spill.com didn't like it. They summed it up best. The movie is basically a 2.5 hour car wreck played in, repeat, looped for 2.5 hours. To close out the discussion, the possibility of a 4th movie.
I think they will.
Well, of course, the 3rd one made like $500 million at the box office. Of course, they're going to make a 4th one. However, if they do make a 4th one, dump Bay, dump LaBeouf, go in a new direction, try something.
I hate it when they do that in movies. I hate when they have the same characters and bang. It's like Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Home Alone 3 was dumb. I didn't like it.
The problem with Home Alone 3 is that, how is it a sequel to the first 2 movies?
It's nothing to do with him. It's a kid younger than the original. The dummy's the same.
The only connection between Home Alone 3 and any of the first 2 movies is that they both take place in Chicago. And if you look very carefully, when the FBI show up at the house in the climax, you can see the McAllister's house. But other than that, there's no connection. I mean, when I found out there was a Home Alone 3, I was actually kind of excited.
But it was lame.
But it was lame. The traps were lame, and the burglars were lame.
Stupid.
Give me Harry and Marv.
They were anyways, but Transformers.
We went off on a big tangent, but we were discussing Transformers 4. I disagree with you. I think that they need to kind of change things up. But you can do it wrong. Home Alone 3 is a good example. I mean, they completely changed. Well, they didn't change the format. The format's still the same. It's just they changed the characters. I mean, with Transformers 4, maybe you can change the characters, the human characters. The thing about sequels is that if you change things too much, the audience is going to go, this isn't Transformers, what is this? But if you keep things the same, they're going to go, I've seen this, so why am I here? So if they do a 4th one, I personally think that maybe they should kind of spice things up a little bit, but don't change it worth.
I don't think they should. I think they should get something different, something new.
To a new planet. The only thing they haven't done is blown up the Earth.
To be quite honest, if they change the characters, I won't watch it.
Well, they already got rid of Megan Fox, so you know that Shia LaBeouf is next.
All right, that's the end of this discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did, and
Have a good afternoon.
have a good